Mikel Arteta has been advised by one of the Arsenal players, known as former Arsenal player, legendary Mykhailo Mudryk, who left Arsenal and went to Man City, to obviously come up and obviously sign the legendary player who is decorated four-time Champions League winner, World Cup winner. He doesn't have the Euros, but as far as every trophy is concerned at the club level, he has got ahead of obviously really get it, and that is Raphael Varane. And I don't know what your thoughts are about it, you Arsenal fans all over the world, but I'm here to obviously coming through and really speak about it. I think I'm the man in the right direction because Raphael Varane has been playing for Manchester United. He was signed in 2021 and his 3 years have gone to elapse and he's out of the club of Manchester United. He's a free agent and he has been put outside there to obviously be one of those players that have been told to Arsenal to obviously sign. And when you look at the situation of Arsenal, you'd love to obviously get in some players that are outside there on a free to give you the best that you deserve into your team. As we talk about Tammy Abraham, Roma also wanting to make in some gains from his sale, and Chelsea blocking Enzo Fernandez and Mykhailo Mudryk from representing their teams at the Olympics. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokan David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And it's really great to see to it that we are really having people awake at this time. I thought I was gonna do this video and then you people will find it, you know, but I'm really excited that I'm really having great numbers watching in onto this channel. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Juma Karim. It's a Friday and hope you people are really gonna be there doing the due diligence to obviously find yourself really win. So how many likes smashing this video? Let's hit close to 300 likes smashing this video, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 21,500 subscribers. And congratulations to everyone that has been part of us as we made 21,400 subscribers. Now let's go to 21,500 subscribers, and I know you people are really gonna give us the vibes. Now let me read to you this article put out by Mykhailo Mudryk. You know him very well. He was at Arsenal for some time and he later went ahead and started playing for the team of Man City, and I think that's where he obviously ended his career. And he has gone ahead to speak as follows. Mykhailo Mudryk has said, Raphael Varane is a fantastic player with a lot left to offer, or left in his tank to offer, because he's only 31 years old. I actually think he would be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. He would be a perfect fit for the vibe of the club because of his winning mentality and personality. He would get on really well with the players in the squad because he's a great player and a great man. I saw him at the Champions League final and he was in great spirits. He's a football lover before anything, and he still has the desire and competitiveness to play at the top level. As an addition to the Arsenal squad, I think he would be perfect cover for either William Saliba or Gabriel Magalhaes, and could step into the team when either of those players needed a rest if they were to get injured. Arsenal needs some more quality in reserve, in central defense, and Varane would be a wonderful addition. Now, I don't know what Arsenal fans are really thinking about that statement being put out by one of the players that played for Arsenal and later crossed from Arsenal to obviously play for a different team altogether, and that is Mykhailo Mudryk. Now, I'm just gonna break it down slowly by slowly. He has gonna hit to talk about the age of Raphael Varane. 31 years of age, and he made 31 years this year in April 25th. Now, the age of Raphael Varane does not matter if at all you're an Arsenal fan, and you really believe that you need experience. One of the things that comes with experience is the age. Varane is a perennial winner at the side of Real Madrid. He came in at Man United. He has gone ahead to win a Carabao Cup. He has gone ahead to win an FA Cup. And Arsenal have taken 4 seasons without winning any trophy. Hope you really agree with me onto that. Arsenal have taken 4 seasons without winning a trophy, because they last won a trophy in 2020. That is the FA Cup that was won by Mykhailo Arteta. But the progress of the progress of the side of Arsenal cannot really be watered down. The progress is really huge, but there is something that Arsenal fans need to obviously understand, that if they are to age the side of City, they need experience by their side. I tell you, Raphael Varane, why he's needed at the club of Arsenal, according to me and Bakary Sagna, according to his words, the experience that he brings into that team is really huge. He's a winner. Even at Manchester United, where a team has not been performing very well, he has been pivotal into those 2 trophies that Manchester United have gone ahead to win. You know, the Carabao Cup they won in the season of 2023, or season of 2022, 2023, and 2023, 2024, the FA Cup. I know that most of you, the most memorable side that you will ever think about is the FA Cup finale, where he defended Erling Haaland and everyone at Man City, and they couldn't obviously go past him. And he's the reason as to why that central defense really looked like that. Every time he plays with Lisandro Martinez in the central defense, it's really something different altogether. When you look at how United have gone ahead to concede goals without Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez, you obviously know that he's a leader in that central defense. And the other point is all about William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes learning from the guy. That is it. He's a very good defender. He will command respect in that dressing room. And for everyone who thinks I don't need Raphael Varane, I tell you, he's a free agent. You are going to get him on a free. The sign-on fee won't be all that huge. And I know you can obviously afford his salary. Even if he earns £300,000 a week, Arsenal will obviously don't feel it, because this is a player coming in through as a free agent. Because a player that would have gone to sign for like £20 million or £25 million, you are getting him on a free, and you're giving him a sign-on fee of like £5 million, all £10 million, and you're giving him a contract of 300. You get? That means you've gone ahead to obviously get in a perfect person to lead Arsenal in those positions that they couldn't obviously surpass their opponents the previous season. I tell you, if Arsenal had Raphael Varane in those games against Bayern Munich, I don't see how Bayern knocks out Arsenal. Why? All of the goals that Arsenal went ahead to concede were really defensive mistakes. Let's first talk about the first goal that Bayern scored against Arsenal at the Emirates. You remember how Gabriel Magalhaes went ahead to obviously put in a very bad pass. Raphael Varane would have gone ahead to obviously do the needful and either hit that ball wide, or else go ahead and really put that ball outside because of his experience, because he knows that in moments like that, you don't really give your opponent a chance. And he rarely puts a foot wrong when he's playing from the back. That is it. Let's talk about the second goal. They score that resulted into a penalty. I tell you, he would have gone ahead to organize that back line very, very well, and it wouldn't have gone ahead to result into what we call a goal. When we go to the goal they conceded when they are playing against Bayern at the Allianz Arena, he would have gone ahead to organize that back line very well, and Joshua Kimmich wouldn't have gone ahead to get that free header. That is it. Or even Guerrero, who put in that cross, wouldn't have gone ahead to put in that cross to see that he's the only man who went ahead to obviously did the needful. So, Arsenal fans have gone ahead to do some research. Look at the team of Man City that went ahead to win a treble. You know, it had players of 30 plus. Ilkay Gundogan, I think was 32 years of age. Kevin De Bruyne, 30 plus. Riyad Mahrez, 30 plus. Who else was 30 plus in the team? You know? And all those players were pivotal. Ilkay Gundogan carried Man City to the Champions League final. He carried Man City to win the FA Cup because he scores that brace in a very, very, very hard way when Man United was playing against Man City in the FA Cup that was played in the year of 2023. In the Premier League, in the last 8 games of the Premier League, he really went ahead to put in a very huge push, scored very many goals that saw Man City will win. Kevin De Bruyne, you know what he does? Best number 10 in the world, you get, in that season. Look at Riyad Mahrez. You know how he went ahead to obviously hold that side of Man City on his back at a certain point. So, in every team, you don't need very many players who are really 30 plus. You need like 2 or 3 that can come in through and obviously get you out of that. Because if they are not those players, Man City wouldn't have gone ahead to win a treble. I tell you, they wouldn't have gone ahead to win a treble. If Arsenal wants to see to it that they obviously elevate themselves to the title winning sides, they need to obviously get in experienced players that have gone ahead to do it elsewhere to instill the winning culture at that side. You get? And for Man City, they brought in Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, and Riyad Mahrez when they are really good, and obviously they are people that are really good at their jobs, and they wouldn't have gone ahead to obviously be put to a stop as how people think. They would have gone ahead to be put up to a stop there because they are really good and good talents, and they went ahead to obviously grow with Man City. They grew old with Man City, and they put up a show that everyone went ahead to appreciate when they most needed to win a treble. And they went ahead and obviously lifted the treble courtesy of what those people, were really good at and really went ahead to do. So for me, I think experience is paramount. That's why I told you that if Arsenal is to send a message to Man City that we're here to stop you, they should do the following. Arsenal should put themselves in a position of really getting in finished articles of players into their squad. They need these finished articles. They need them. They need them. They need them. It might not be Raphael Varane, but they need players with the best experience. For example, I tell you, remember, what was I going to say? I was talking about players that are really free agents. You get? Even if they are not free agents, but players that are really good. All right, I've gone ahead to get back that point in my head. Remember Gabriel Jesus. In the first season, under Mykhailo Arteta, that they went ahead to compete for the trophy, it was Gabriel Jesus who got the flowers and Zinchenko that before those two came in through, Arsenal's plan was simple. Let's get into the top 4 and play in the Champions League. When Jesus arrived in the camp of Arsenal, he told them, I've not come here to play for the Champions League. Sorry, to play for Champions League positions. I've come here to fight for the trophy. Because of that winning mentality that was instilled in him at Man City, and other players were like, it's hard. He told them it's possible. When Zinchenko came in through, he added beef to what the guy had gone ahead to say in the names of Gabriel Jesus, and that's why you saw to it that Arsenal went ahead to obviously change from a top 4 fighting team to a league fighting team, and they lost it in the last 10 games. You get? That's what this guy went ahead to instill into these players of Arsenal. So when you get in Raphael Varane or any other player that has experience and he has what we call a winning mentality, they'll obviously change your players into the levels that you people deserve and really want. That is it. And let no one lie to you that he can't do it. He's a winner, and you obviously complement your brains. Tell me a reason as to why Arsenal was keeping El Nini. Because he represents the culture of Arsenal. He had been the longest serving player at Arsenal ever since Arteta came in through. and he kept him around because of that. He has left, and when you look at players at Arsenal that are really having experience, I think they're really running down. So I think Raphael Varane is a player that I think people are really undermining, but he has gone ahead obviously to the needful. People will say he's injury prone. Let me read to you. This season, he has gone ahead to play 22 games for the club of Manchester United. In the season of 2022-2023, played 24 games. And in the season of 2021-2022, he played 22 games. Now, if you're having a player that can play 22 games in the Premier League, and he's going to obviously come through to act as a backup of William Saliba, or really compete with William Saliba, I think that's not bad for a player like Raphael Varane with the experience he has. Then he averages close to 6 games in the Champions League, and you'll need his experience in the Champions League. Trust me not. And the most important bit of it all is that, do you think Ben White, Tomiyasu, and Julian Timber have the aspects to push William Saliba to his best? I think the best person to push William Saliba to his best is Raphael Varane. If Arsenal gets in Raphael Varane to that club, it's gonna change a lot. It's really gonna change a lot on how this guy sees things. I'm talking about William Saliba. It will change a lot on how William Saliba sees things. So I think he's a player that Arsenal really need to obviously come in through and do the needful, because he's a free agent. You'll get him on a free, keep him around for like 3 years until he's 34, and then you let him go. I think he'll be ready to go to Saudi Arabia after that, and you'll add a lot of experience with the club, because where Arsenal is, they need players that can really do things at the level of really winning, and they've gone ahead to be winning elsewhere. And you look at the list of players that Arsenal are really looking at. That's why I've always told you that finished articles are really important to the club of Arsenal. Maybe a Bruno Guimaraes won't be enough. You get? Maybe an Olise won't be enough. Maybe a Gyökeres or a Sesko won't be enough. They need in another leading character into that dressing room. And I've gone ahead to note on to some other points in here for you. I've explained to you the age factor that contributed to Man City winning the treble. I've read to you the players that you're really having that age that went ahead obviously show up and really give Man City an edge over other teams because of the experience. Being an injury prone player, there is one thing that I've gone ahead to note, that Arsenal is really having some good doctors, and he might turn out to be injury prone at Man United, but he might come in at Arsenal and he can really be kept fit for very many games at the club of Arsenal. And by the way, this season, we're not going to play very many games just because sometimes Ten Hag felt like he was not fit to play. You get? And he's a player who will always fight for the badge. He'll fight for the badge. And with the French culture kept in at Arsenal, very many French superstars will obviously be excited to have Raphael Varane join the club of Arsenal to do the needful. But it depends on Mikel Arteta on what he wants, on whether he can go Raphael Varane or he wants to have that back line as it is and being unchanged, though Arsenal is looking in for a left back. Then Arsenal beating competition from other teams, especially teams from Saudi Arabia. If Arteta is to take the advice of Bakary Sagna to sign this guy, then Arsenal have to beat competition of teams from Saudi Arabia, because a team from Saudi Arabia will tell Raphael Varane, we are going to be paying you £1 million per week. And it will be a decision of Raphael Varane to obviously say, I'm snubbing that money, shunning it for my career. A Ronaldo might knock on the door to obviously convince Raphael Varane to join Al Nassr. Only Karim Benzema might knock on the door to say, please, can you come and join Al Ittihad? But I think Raphael Varane still wants to be playing at the elite level. He's just 31 years of age. He still has some 3 years left playing for the top team, and then leaves in there for you. And I think some people will say, Rokani, Arsenal players will feel agitated as to why this man has gone ahead to come in through and is being paid that huge amount of money. You understand? I tell you, no player at Arsenal obviously get agitated because this player would have gone ahead to come in through as a free agent. You understand? And when a player comes in as a free agent, he has all the luxury to earn whatever he wants. Remember, Willian came in through and they gave him £300,000 a week, and Willian did nothing. But I think Raphael Varane has something in the tank to obviously do something better for the club of Arsenal. Before I go to the Mykhailo Mudryk story, let us first talk about the comment section. Daniel Okuja, how can you go for a player like that? I think the person who has come out with that is not normal for sure. I respect your opinions, but Arsenal needs experienced players. That is it. Arsenal needs experienced players. And guys, do you know why Arsenal is really taking long to sign players? Because they're still figuring out on which players they should bring in and which players they shouldn't bring in. You understand? Because players for Arsenal to sign are still there. Douglas Luiz price is going to obviously go to £80 million for Premier League teams. You understand? Teams outside the Premier League, it is around £60 million. You understand? So Arsenal can obviously jump onto such transfers and they sign those players. Arsenal can get in Zubimendi, Arsenal can get in Bruno Guimaraes, but why aren't they really hurrying to go in for the Fofanas of this world? They are still calculating and obviously finding a solution to the problems they faced last season. Arsenal has a squad that can really take them throughout the season, but can that squad win Arsenal trophies? The fact is, Arsenal need experienced players. Getting in inexperienced players and adding them to the squad of Arsenal will be like waiting for more 2 years to win. And tell me, Arsenal fans, do you still have the patience to wait for more 2 seasons? Do you still have that patience? You don't have it. Meaning that experienced players are supposed to be brought in to obviously do the needful. Experience does a lot in such moments. So don't say that Bakary Sagna is abnormal. Bakary Sagna is speaking through experience, because at Man City what helped them to win trophies was experience. You understand? And he wants Arteta to transfer the blueprint of Man City to Arsenal as he did, and add in what we call experienced players that are really missing into that squad. Daniel Okuja, Rokani, you need to first think before you have come out with. No, this is a story, and this YouTube channel, this channel, is all about us getting in what we call news and react to it. Ask yourself, does Arsenal need a defender like Raphael Varane in their team, who is not going to come in through to really call in for playing time, but every time you need him is going to be available? William Saliba, I tell you, when you look at the amount of football played last season and the football is going to be playing this season, next season he will need to be rotated. That is it. And you bench him for who? I like Julian Timber, but sometimes there is sometimes when you need experience. And where Arsenal is, it's experience that is needed. I don't know what you thought about it, but I tell you, I'm buying his idea. Even if he's not signing Raphael Varane, Arsenal should go in and sign in other players that are really hugely experienced at winning big things. Though it doesn't really mean that if at all Arsenal doesn't sign in experienced players, they won't win anything. They can win a treble even next season. But when you're having those experienced players, there is that touch that they add to your team. Rokan, I think you are just a gambler, but not a sport analyst. All right? You can say whatever you want, but that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I've told you, even if it's not Raphael Varane, Arsenal should go out and really get in other players like Raphael Varane. You get? They should find out experienced players to come in through and really take them to where they deserve to be, because they lack the experience. They lack it. They lack the experience. And when you look at Man City, that team that really broke that dreadlock of them having spent, 50 years without winning a trophy, you know whom they had? They had Kolo Toure. He had won it at Barcelona. They had some other players that were really hugely experienced. I think Kun Aguero had won something in the Olympics, and I think had even done it in Spain with Atletico Madrid. You understand? So they had some players that had gone ahead to win it. You understand? So experience is paramount when it comes to this. Kahendo Oliver Aradi, good morning. as his free agent, I welcome him at the Emirates in London. That is a free agent. And let me give you the business part of it. You sign Raphael Varane here, you give him a contract of 2-3 years. Saudi Arabia will come in through to obviously buy Raphael Varane for like 30-40 million pounds. You get 30-40 million pounds, you understand? And that will be some good money for Arsenal, you can understand? And we'd have gone ahead to make some huge profit from him because you signed him as a free agent and you've gone ahead to sell him to Saudi Arabia for that much. Kahendo Oliver, Mr. Aradi, how do you see if Arteta considers signing for Fana, Onana, or Zubimendi instead of Bruno Guimaraes? I said it depends on the budget. If the budget is there, I would go Bruno Guimaraes and Onana. Sorry, I would go for Fana and Bruno Guimaraes. If the budget is not there, I would go for Fana, Zubimendi, or Onana and Zubimendi. You get, it's possible, and it will depend. It will depend. But the moment you bring in two midfielders, that means Emily Smith-Rowe, Fabio Vieira, they have to bamush the side of Arsenal and really show their backs. That is it. And I don't know whether Arsenal is really willing to make that huge exodus of players and really getting in new ones. But they'll at least get in one midfielder, a left back, a right winger, and a centre forward, plus a goalkeeper of David Raya, whose transfer is yet to be affirmed, complete and permanent, from a side that loaned him to the side of Manchester, to the side that loaned him to the side of Arsenal, and that is Brentford. So that's what I had to say about Raphael Varane. I know most people might say I'm saying like that because I'm a United fan. Manchester United couldn't keep Raphael Varane because Raphael Varane wanted to obviously earn more money, and United were like, we cannot really keep you at the same contract. You get? But he's a very good player that I really love, and I tell you, he's a wonderful player that you will enjoy if at all he comes in through. Even if you don't get him in, there are other players who are really perennial winners that you can obviously get in through, obviously get you what we call the winning experience. Now, Kian Gill, football reporter for the Daily Mail for Chelsea, that is the Chelsea correspondent for the Daily Mail, has said Chelsea have officially blocked Enzo Fernandez and Mykhailo Mudryk from representing Argentina and Ukraine respectively at the Olympics. The Olympics are expected to end around 8th August, and with the plan that these teams are really having, I think no team is going to allow its player who is going to be playing in the Euros or in the Copa America to obviously come in through, and after playing the Euros or Copa America, to go and play in the Euros. For example, Mykhailo Mudryk is going to be representing Ukraine at the Euros. You understand? After representing Ukraine at the Euros, then he'll obviously have to come in through to show up and really put in the required energy to go to the Olympics. And these players need to rest. And in the due course, you cannot allow them to obviously play in the Euros and play in the Olympics, because for Mykhailo Mudryk, he needs to get at least 2 or 3 weeks of the preseason. Then after, he'll obviously get into the mix to really represent for Chelsea as soon as possible. And I think they're right. And Mykhailo Mudryk needs to obviously pay more attention to detail to his career at Chelsea than representing his team for the Olympics. And the Olympics are not games guaranteed, all gazetted by the FIFA. And that's why a player or a club can really block their players from obviously playing into the Olympics. Enzo Fernandez, he's going to be representing Argentina in the Copa America, and they would love to take him to the Olympics. But a blockage has been put there because Chelsea wants to see these Copa America end mid of July. After them ending, these players will get like 2 or 3 weeks off, and then in the first week of August, they will have to report to the training sessions of Chelsea. And remember, Chelsea is having a new manager, and the new manager needs to obviously feed himself in onto how good these players are. And I don't know how he's really going to work upon it, but the beauty of Chelsea is that they are really having very many players to play into those positions. That is it. For example, Mykhailo Mudryk is being played as a left forward. They're having Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling can do the job that side, so they can obviously wait a little bit. For Enzo Fernandez, they're having Moise Caicedo, who's going to be playing also into the is it Copa America, because his team is there, Ecuador. But they're having Lavia, you understand. Romeo Lavia, he's one of those that is going to be tested. And who else who can play in that midfield area that is going to be available? So Conor Gallagher is going to be sold, and we don't know how things are really going to go ahead and be the pan up for Conor Gallagher. So guys, that's it for Mykhailo Mudryk and Enzo Fernandez Chelsea transfer block. It is going to be put outside there, and I don't expect any alternation into what Chelsea is going to put out, because it's coming in from a fly on the walls of Chelsea that I'm going to do the needful in there for you. So, and Chelsea are going to play early. They have to go through what we call the Conference League qualification. So meaning that they need their players back as soon as possible. Now, this is Marco Conterio has told us that Roma must make 10 million euros in capital gains by the end of June, and Tammy Abraham remains on the way out. That track can be rekindled as Aston Villa are looking for centre forward to partner with Oli Watkins. But how many forwards will Aston Villa get in? Aston Villa are really having John Duran, there is Morgan, and there is Oli Watkins. Do they also want to get in Tammy Abraham? You get? And does it make enough economic sense to obviously go ahead and really do such deals? I'm really here to wait and see what you guys are really going to say about this. But it is really one of those moments that that I'm feeling confused. They have to make in money. Paul Dybala is there to be sold because they got him as a free agent. I think that's the best player for them to sell, and is also linked to Aston Villa because Aston Villa needs in players with Champions League experience. And for Tammy Abraham, if he comes in through, that means Duran won't be obviously getting in a lot of time. I understand what Aston Villa want to do, because you need a player like Tammy Abraham to obviously come through and compete with Oli Watkins, because he was proven in the Premier League. His first season scored like 14-15 goals for Chelsea, and he can come in through and do the needful. But what is going to happen to, is it Morgan Rogers and Duran, who scored a brace against Liverpool? You know, what is going to happen? You know, that is my huge question onto that. So guys, Rock and David is my name. I would like to obviously call upon for your reactions onto Arteta advice to sign Raphael Varane. What do you make about it? By Bakali Sanya. And lastly, Tammy Abraham linked to Aston Villa, and Mudryk blocked from playing for what we call the Olympics. Richard Fenny, how are you, my mates? How are you? How are you, my G? You said Arteta cannot think of that to get Varane. All right, I respect your opinion, but it's Bakary Sanya obviously talking about that. So guys, it has been nice having you onto this channel. Thank you, Daniel Okuja, for watching through. Thank you, Richard Fenny and Kahendo Oliver for watching in through. Hope we're gonna hit obviously have a very good video that is gonna hit to cap our day. And good night to everyone watching in through.